I had one of the craziest psychedelic experiences so far, and this time it wasn't with ayahuasca and it wasn't with shrooms. It was actually with a cactus called San Pedro or huachuma. For about 16 hours, I couldn't walk, I couldn't think, I could barely speak, and it was really crazy, unlike anything I've experienced so far. And if you want to know more about it, stay with me. Hey guys, Gregor here. As you know, I really like to experiment with psychedelics, especially in a very good setting with shamans and maybe some doctors or psychotherapists there. And not that long ago, I got this opportunity. There was a shaman visiting a place that I knew or that I know, and I got the opportunity to attend a retreat with San Pedro. And when I was informed about it, I knew a little bit about San Pedro, but I didn't really know how it works, what kind of healing properties does it have. So I did a little bit of research, and I figured out that San Pedro contains mescaline, which is a compound that reacts to serotonin in our brain. So it works quite differently to ayahuasca and mushrooms, at least in theory. But I wanted to try it out and see how it compares to those compounds in real life. And that's the reason why I wanted to attend this retreat, but also to see what kind of real healing properties does it have, and how does the whole trip compare to our compounds. Is it more calming, or is it more hardcore like with ayahuasca? Maybe it's something in between. So when I got the opportunity, I said, you know what, let's do it. So how did the whole experience look like? There was a very good setting. There was a fire that we had there and a little bit of initial preparation, but then, we got to drink San Pedro, which came like in small glasses like this. And the taste of it, it was like a shot of alcohol. It was very easy to swallow, unlike with ayahuasca, which many people don't like, including myself. So yeah, we got the initial shot. I had, in my mind, I knew why I was there. So my intention was there already. And, that really helped me kind of focus on this intention in the initial phase. And for about 2 hours, nothing really happened. So we had 2 shots, and then the shaman called for the last shot. And that was about 2 hours after the first shot. And, he said, I want to get the final shot. And there were 2 guys with me sitting there, and they said, yeah, I don't feel anything. Let's take the third shot. And the shaman was like, guys, are you sure? And we were like, yeah, for sure. We didn't act like, typical macho kind of guys. But we didn't feel anything, or that's what we thought. And when we got the final shot, and there was only a little bit of San Pedro in, oh man, it hit me really crazy, like right away. And I remember when I wanted to give the glass back to the shaman, I was like looking at it and trying to feel it, and I was like, wow, I mean, look at that glass, look at that sculpture, look at the artist who made this. So I knew I was very, very high. Yeah. And then, it was a very crazy night. So the experience went on during the night. And for about, 16 hours, I had basically no control of myself. So for the first part of the night, I don't really remember it. I was there, I know I was in a place, I know something was going on, so I was still a little bit present, but I had no control over my body. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand up, I could just sit on the small chair, and that's basically it. When there was an opportunity to sing a song, and I couldn't do it. So yeah, it was very crazy. But then at a certain stage during the experience, everyone stood up and went outside, and everyone started dancing. And even though I'm not a big fan of dancing, I stood up and I joined the guys. And it started raining at the same time. So the seasons from summer to the autumn was just changing, actually. So it got very cold all of a sudden, and it was raining, and we were dancing out there, and I was like, shit, what's happening? So there was like a tiny part of my brain who told me like, hey, maybe you're gonna get sick from that, maybe you shouldn't do it. But I couldn't stop it. I was just following the crowd basically. And I felt really good doing it. And that was the crazy part. So then we got back into the tent, because we were in a tent. And for the next, again, maybe 4 or 6 hours, I don't remember much. I didn't have any visions, unlike with ayahuasca and with shrooms, when I usually have very strong visions. Here I had not a single vision basically. So that was kind of a strange. It was different, not something I expected. But I was I was present in a way. So I didn't know what's happening, but I didn't have like tons of thoughts, So I was really kind of focused on one thing, and I had this hyper focus on that one thing. And for some time it was the focus on fire, and then I was looking at the smoke, and then I was like looking into the nothing basically, and wondering like what's there, wondering about the energy or the spirit and stuff like this. So it was quite crazy, to be honest. And then after some time the effects started decreasing, and I was able to stand up. We went out there to grab some food, to drink some water and stuff, and then I started slowly getting back, but that was after like 12 hours or so. But it was a very slow process. And even for the next like 4 hours, I was on and off. I was there and I wasn't there. I was sleeping for a while. I was like, I woke up, I was like, fuck, what's happening? I fell asleep, or like I fell into, some kind of a strange, state of mind where I was present, but I wasn't present. It was like daydreaming, or it was like a dream in a way. So very weird. And then after about 16 hours, I was actually able I got back to myself. Actually, I felt a bit more normal than I did, for the rest of that night. So when I was thinking like what I got out of this experience, it felt like it was a very strong mental detox. Because as I said, not many things were happening. It was a very calm night. It was a very focused night. And I think San Pedro, at least on me, it worked like a very strong detox. Because when it stopped working, like for the next couple of days, I was very present. I was very calm. I felt very good. So it was not something I expected, because I expected to see some visions, to have some visions, to experience some crazy stuff like on ayahuasca, but not with San Pedro. No, it worked quite differently, at least for me. Now, compared to ayahuasca, and again, there are videos up there or in the description where you can see my experiences. Compared to ayahuasca, the trip was much calmer. I mean, it was like a completely different kind of trip. And I think we drank quite a lot. I mean, I don't know, but it felt quite a lot, because there were only like 3 guys drinking more than everyone else. And then, the effects went on for a very, very, very long time. It's not like with the Boga, which can last for like 30 hours plus, but like 16 hours, it's a lot, trust me. But it was much calmer. There were no visions. It wasn't as hard. And also the learning out there wasn't nearly as, I didn't learn that much from San Pedro as I did with ayahuasca. So yeah, I didn't really see the same potential in terms of healing, but I see a very good use case, which I'm gonna talk about at the end of this video. Now, compared to psilocybin or mushrooms, it's quite different again. Again, on me, psilocybin has a very direct, very strong effect. I have very strong visions. I'm into this movie that I make. So it's like quite different to San Pedro, and mushrooms work for me for like 4 to 6 hours. I mean, they can last longer. It depends how much you take. But usually like a normal trip is 4 to 6 hours. And again, this was like 16 hours. But again, it wasn't as healing with the, like with the mushrooms. So it was more like a detox kind of a program. So in terms of the like side effects or like bad things happening, nothing really happened on that trip. As far as I remember, no one puked. There was no purging of any kind. People had a very, very good night. It was a very positive night with a lot of singing and music and a little bit of dancing. So it kind of felt like a very weird party of sorts. But yeah, for example, for my like, I also felt a little bit of dizziness. Especially like at the end of this retreat, or at the end of this trip when I was getting back, I was like on and off. I was very tired. So I felt slightly strange, but in terms of the effects on the body and you know, the side effects or anything like that, I you know, nothing major really happened. And even the day after, you know, I had a very long sleep, but then when I woke up the day after, I had a normal day. So it wasn't like with ayahuasca when I feel like for a few days I'm like not able to operate on the same level as before, because I'm always like, whoa, what's happening, you know? So that didn't happen with San Pedro, at least, you know, that was my experience. So the question is, will I do it again, and who do I recommend it to? Well, I don't think I'll do it again. I mean, maybe, you never know, but at least right now I don't feel or hear the call. I see who it could be beneficial for, especially for people who are overworked too much in their head and they need like a quick fix. It's not a fix, but it works in a way. So a quick mental detox. I see a lot of value in that because it's not that hard on the body. There's no purging. Okay, you're awake for the whole night, but then the next day you feel quite normal. So the preparation period is quite short, not like with ayahuasca when you have to go on a diet. Here, you know, the instructions were a bit different, so we only had to skip the dinner and had like a light lunch before, but that was about it. And also the integration part, I think it's much shorter, at least it was for me, because there wasn't too much to integrate. But it was a very good mental detox, and after that experience, I had a very good few weeks or months where I wasn't very nervous, I wasn't too much in my mind, so I felt very good. So I'm not planning to do it again, but I'm planning to do ayahuasca again, and there are many reasons why, which I'll explain in one of the next videos. So if you want to learn more about my ayahuasca experiences, check out my next videos up here. And if you have any questions about San Pedro, you know, just let me know in the comments, or, you know, send me a message and I'll try to guide you there. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you soon again. Take care.